started here as a volunteer in January of 1983. My dad had been a volunteer assistant chief in the late 60s through about mid-70s. So that's what made me interested in the fire service. Spent a lot of time up at Station 1. Back in those days, it was only Station 1 and Station 2. Had 9 people at each location, if my memory is correct, before the Westgate station opened up. Been a great deal of time up there volunteering and got in a lot of fires, back when we actually had fires. It was an interesting place. There was a lot of family atmosphere in the stations. Weren't near as busy as we are today, but when you had a call, typically everybody went, and you handled a house fire with one station with a couple of pieces of apparatus. Probably the biggest was the merging with the city. That was probably the biggest change. The partnership would be a big change. And the day that we changed out of where the firefighters weren't on the ambulance anymore and hired our own paramedics, that was probably the most significant change in my mind. It was just we were heading in a new direction. We hadn't done that before, and it was totally something new to us that we weren't used to. So it was an interesting transition there, but I think it was for the best, and it's worked out well. I've got a lot of memories of a lot of calls. I've got a lot of memories of a lot of good friendships along the way. A lot of funny stories that I'm not going to tell on videotape. Some of you that are watching this probably right now will remember those, so we can keep those to ourselves. It's been a fun ride. It's been a very quick ride, I'll tell you that. Didn't really anticipate leaving here at this time in my life, but you never know when an opportunity is going to open up, and I couldn't control that opportunity, so here I'm leaving with 28 years. I wanted to try and get to at least 30, but didn't happen, so it'll all work out, I'm sure. When I started here, I'm trying to recall who I was with initially, and I originally was with Chris Madsen, I believe, at Ford's. Later with Raleigh Brookard, short period of time with Bill Harper, short period of time with Frank Emery. All of those people have had an impact in my career and the successes that I've accomplished throughout my career, and I owe them all a lot of thanks. Jim McGee as well, Al Dedrick, both of those guys being my battalion chiefs for my career, have coached and mentored me and shown through positive examples how to act in my career. So I will certainly appreciate all they've done for me. Young people on the department. Well, first thing I'd say is, so you don't have to get these things in, make sure you wear hearing protection. That would be some good advice for you. On a serious note, and I guess that was somewhat of a serious note, you may not realize it, but you're making an impact in people's lives every day you're here. Whether it's people that you're working with, or whether it's people that you may come in contact with in the public. It's not until I announced that I'm leaving that people started sending me emails and contacting me, and you may not think about what an impact you make in others' lives, but you do, and you need to keep that in the back of your mind, because you may not think you are, but you really are, and a lot of those things, positive things, come to light later in life. I hope first and foremost that everybody can remain safe here, and that we move forward, and that this is as safe a working environment as we can possibly make it, or you guys can possibly make it, and that we continue to set the example for others to follow. This department's always been kind of the leader in the fire service. I don't expect that'll change anytime soon. I hope it continues, and I hope that we can continue to chart the path for others to follow here. I can tell you it's an awkward feeling being in this position. I didn't in my wildest dreams feel like I was going to be in this position at this point in my career or life. It's extremely hard walking away from here, harder than one might think. But I'm going somewhere else where I've got a built-in established system already, and so it's a little different for me. It's not like I'm going to an unknown, so I think the risk factor, the scare factor is not there. But probably the most uneasiness is the fact that I'm leaving such a great organization and good people behind. The memory of this pager going off all the time for no reason, that comes to mind.
No reason.
Yeah, it goes off by itself for no reason. I'm going to miss that.